Welcome back to Unlock Your Potential, the podcast for commercial real estate professionals who want to lead with clarity, execute with precision, and stay ahead of an industry that's changing fast. I'm your host, Matt Faupel, property manager, industry educator, and founder of Faupel X and creator of CRE Pro. Every week, we break down the mindset, systems, and strategies that drive high-performance building operations, emergency preparedness, and modern CRE leadership. Whether you're managing a single asset or overseeing a complex portfolio, this show is about helping you operate with confidence and build a career that scales. Let's get into today's episode. Today, we're talking about year-end, one of the most important and most overlooked seasons in property operations. Most teams think of year-end as administrative cleanup, but the truth is year-end is where next year's performance is decided. This is the window where you reinforce relationships, eliminate risk, and build momentum going into Q1. So let's break it down. Start strong by finishing clean. Make sure final invoices are submitted, accruals are confirmed, budget variances have been explained, operating expense categories are tightened up and accurate. Your accounting partners will thank you for the work on those steps. And you'll start the new year without financial hangover that will slow you down as you go into that new year in January. Before renewing any contract, you need to ask yourself a couple questions. Did the vendor actually meet expectations? Was their response times acceptable? Did they prevent problems or just respond to them? Did they make you and your team's jobs easier or harder? Loyalty in commercial real estate is earned annually and should not be assumed. A good vendor strengthens your operations. A weak vendor quietly erodes it. This is the time to reset expectations or make necessary changes. Your building documentation is another piece of this. Make sure your documentation is up to date, searchable, ready for emergencies, and ready for onboarding or training new staff. This may be the boring work that many people avoid, but this is career-defining work in many ways because documentation, SOPs, information is the foundation of operational excellence in property management. A building with clean documentation behaves significantly differently in emergencies, inspections, turnovers, and audits. Year-end is the perfect time to take a hard look at your building equipment and systems too. Check equipment for approaching end of life, any PMs that are overdue as you're getting into Q1, any recurring issues that need permanent solutions. High-risk systems like boilers, cooling towers, switch gears, life safety, these all should be looked at. This is also the time where CapEx conversations begin, and it's time to get ahead of them. People will remember how you finished the year, and these topics are things that will set you apart from your peers. Year-end is the perfect time to share wins, recap major projects, highlight risks that were avoided, show the value that you and your team delivered, and then set the expectations for the new year. It's also the season when tenants have elevated expectations. Use the year-end to communicate and demonstrate your leadership and stability. Send out information regarding the holiday building hours, access control, any information about work orders, janitorial, different requests that could be utilized, package delivery and management expectations, and most importantly, emergency contacts and winter reminders. Clear communication prevents most holiday headaches, in my opinion. Now, as the holidays approach, before staffing thins out, vendors are harder to get a hold of, you need to make sure to do a full building walkthrough. Make sure to check things like roof drains, gutters, scuppers, parking lots and walkways, any areas that might be cold in those winter months. Make sure that you're looking through areas that might be vacant or haven't had eyes on them in a little while. And also you want to double check your winter supplies. Make sure you have the tools and equipment necessary in case the snow vendor has trouble getting to your property or if Mother Nature brings a larger storm than anticipated. During the holidays, reduced staff can increase the exposure potential. So you want to make sure that you're reviewing the schedules, making sure people's counterparts are aware of what their holiday attendance is going to look like. Make sure that you're familiar with how to access any building systems when you're offsite, whether it's cameras, whether it's BAS, whether it's just information that you can check on to make sure the building is operating correctly, regardless if you're there or not. If you have any security, you want to make sure that the patrol routes, escorts, things get adjusted now that we have shorter daylight hours. And it's a great time to run through tabletop exercises with all of the stakeholders for these types of situations. Preparedness is a leadership skill, and this is when it shows, is in that preparation. Year-end is also an opportunity to grow as a leader. This is a great time to sit back and take inventory. What did the team, what did the on-site services, what did vendors do well this year? Where did each person improve? Where did you improve? And what are things that need to be adjusted for next year? High performers don't look at the year end as an opportunity to coast into the new year. They build momentum as they go into it. And a little bit of preparation now could save hours later. I highly encourage finalizing things for Q1 as you're getting at the year end. Look at schedules, RFPs, make sure any information with COIs or contracts, things expiring, are not being left until after the holidays. Clean up both your digital and physical workspace. Update any SOPs with changes or things that didn't get addressed throughout the year. This will allow you to start January from a position of control. And it's a great opportunity to make sure that you are looking back, reflecting, and applying lessons learned to the year ahead. Year-end is also a wonderful time. It's a time to thank tenants, thank vendors, thank your maintenance, your office team, thank ownership. A simple, well-written message will build trust and it will set the tone for starting the new year. If you take year-end seriously and apply a lot of these steps, I assure you, your entire year, 2026, will run smoother. Close strong, start stronger, and you'll set the tone as a top property for the next year. The best property managers, they don't just wrap up the year, they use year-end as a competitive advantage. They're reducing risk, strengthening relationships, and creating momentum. Thank you for listening to this episode of Unlock Your Potential. If today's episode helped you think differently about CRE, leadership, or building operations, please consider sharing it with someone in your network. You can subscribe to my weekly newsletter on LinkedIn, learn more about what I'm up to at fopelx.com, and you can explore CRE Pro on the ChatGPT store for free. Stay sharp, stay prepared, keep going. I will see you in the next episode.